Howdy y'all, Jeff here. So a few months ago, before I ever started doing YouTube, I put up this building. I filmed a lot of video as it was going up and some of the work associated with it, like bringing in the power utilities, all that. I finally got around to putting together a bunch of the videos. I warn you, this is going to be a very long one. I tried to cut things down as much as I could, but also know there are some people that want to know everything that goes on with a project like this. So tried to leave as much as I could. When it came to the power company doing their work, I actually let a lot of that run in real time, just so people can see how long it actually takes to do the work. And it goes pretty quick. So stay tuned. Let me know how you like this one. It is pretty different from everything else I put out there so far. Like I said, it is long, but stick with it and hopefully you'll enjoy. All right, so the crew is using their telehandler to unload the beams that they just brought in from the fabricator. So for those who don't know, a telehandler is a material handler with a telescoping boom. So in addition to that arm with the forks on it, the boom, being able to go up and down, it can also extend to reach up to higher levels or areas further out in front of it that are hard to get to. Decreases the lifting capacity as you extend out, but they are very, very useful machines. Okay, the pieces they're bringing in right now are the columns. So the eave height on this building is going to be 18 feet. So the bottom of the connection between the column and the beam is going to be 18 feet, and then the peak will probably be somewhere around 23 feet high on this building. All right, so the crew has been out here today moving the steel in, as I shot in some of the earlier videos, and now it's a big moment. They're putting up the very first column of the new building. So great first step. We got more coming. Okay, so since this was an existing slab, it did not have anchor bolts cast into it. So the guys have taken their measurements. They set the first column, and now they're drilling down with a hammer drill, and they'll put anchors in place and bolt the column to the slab. And they'll continue with all 5 frame sections, creating 4 bays for the structure. Okay, so been really busy the last couple days. Wasn't around here yesterday, and I've been tied up most of the day just getting over here about 4 o'clock this afternoon and seeing the progress that they're making. They have 3 of the 5 frame sections up, so about 50% of the building is in place right now. Really starting to look like something. So like I said, they have 3 frame sections, and they have their purlins and their wall girts. So yeah, it's looking like something. It's a pretty good sized building. Decided to go tall with this. It's 18-foot eave heights, so I have plenty of room to hang some high bay lights in here and not have to worry about interfering with really tall trailers or other equipment. So really happy with this. Yeah, it's funny when you have just a slab on the ground, you can't really tell the proportions of it without something on it for reference. So, you know, every time I always saw the slab out here, it really looked kind of small to me, but, you know, I'd pace it off. I'd actually measure it with tapes and, you know, knew what the dimensions were, but it just always looked kind of small to me. And, you know, it's amazing with any type of construction, once you start going vertical, it really starts to put things into perspective. But you can see, even with the equipment sitting in here, there's a lot of room to do stuff with this building. So really excited. Can't wait to get it done. I've been waiting for this for a while, and yeah, it's just part of a plan. You know, you have equipment, you need to take care of it. You buy more things, you buy bigger things, so you need a big space for them to go in. So this will be amazing. The guys are doing a great job out here. Hey, welcome back. Wanted to come over here today and check things out. I was not able to come by yesterday because I had a meeting across town that went all day, but I'm gonna be leaving for a few days, and so wanted to come over and check up on things. So they got a lot done this week. I'm very happy with the work this crew's doing, and in addition to doing a good job, they're keeping the site nice and clean. That really makes a big difference when you're working on a project like this. Their stuff is nice and organized, and that helps keep their work moving along quickly. As we've gone over before, this building is 80 feet long. There are 4 20-foot bays, so 5 main frame sections in the building. Yesterday they got the south end wall frame up, completed the purlins in the roof. And so the purlins are done throughout the whole structure. Their wall girts are in, except for just a few on the east wall. These little small sections between the garage door frames and the main beams. But those will go quick. They just have to cut a few pieces, get those welded in. They have a temporary brace on the east wall, temporary brace on the west wall, and they have a strap up as a brace on the south side end wall. We do have a big storm moving in. It's the front's getting really close to us right now. Probably gonna start raining hard any minute. We have a chance of some very severe thunderstorms coming in, so that's why getting this bracing up was very important. Also, they didn't want to start putting the sheeting up and getting this partially sheeted knowing that there were high winds on the way. So very important when you're doing construction projects like this to consider the weather forecasts. You know, it's not always good to just keep going and getting more work done, because it can really bite you if things aren't in place to hold up to those the elements. So, you know, just like most things in life, planning super important, but these guys are doing a great job. Really excited for this next week. We're gonna see a lot of progress as this thing keeps coming together. I did speak to my electrician the other day to verify some spacing for code, relayed that information to the building crew, and I'm gonna have a meeting here probably in 2 weeks with the electrician to go over the electrical layout for the whole building, and hopefully in about 3 weeks or so he'll be getting to move in and start his work. All right, so it's about 4 hours later in the day and the guys are still out here working. They're about 3 bays in now. So there's one crew on the inside that keeps rolling out the bulk insulation, getting them cut to length, rolling them up, loading them into the scissor lift, while another couple guys are on the outside of the building screwing the panels to hold the insulation into place. So it's just a lot of repetition at this point. All right, so it's the next day out here checking on things. And so yesterday they got the whole west wall done. Today they wrapped up the south wall. And now they're working on the north wall with the 14 by 14 door. So these end walls are a little different because of the slope on the roof. They have to custom cut each sheet. So it takes a little bit longer, but they're making good progress. So it looks like by the end of the day, they will have both end walls done, and then it's on to the east wall, which has a lot of cutting because of the 3 12 by 12 doorway openings. But this is looking great. And after that, then they'll have the roof to finish up, get their temporary straps off. Oh, that was the other thing I hadn't touched on yet. So they still have this temporary support on the east wall. As they were sheeting the west wall, they were able to remove that temporary beam because now the sheeting helps stabilize the structure. So same thing with the roof. Once they start putting the roof sheets on, they'll be able to take off these straps. All right, we will be back again tomorrow. And we're back again. Been a few days. We did have some weather come through, got a couple inches of rain, but we've had a couple nice sunny days now and had a breeze blowing, so things have dried out and the guys are back here at work. They did get the north wall finished up, and now they're wrapping up the east wall by the end of today. So getting just a few more full sheets down on this fully enclosed bay, and then they'll be moving on to the 3 sections with the 12 by 12 doors. So yeah, should be wrapping this up here today, like I said, and then they'll be getting the roof done, and then it's hanging the overhead doors. I got a message early this morning from my electrician with his material takeoffs. So I'm going to be getting all of his stuff ordered, and hopefully here in about 2 weeks I can get him to work and getting everything wired up in here. All right, here we go. So once the sides are put on, then they're working on getting the trim pieces cut to length, and then they'll go up here to button that up. And there'll also be other trim pieces that go around the doorways and up around the edge of the roof sheets once those finally go on. You can see here on this corner, they've already mounted their trim piece, and now they're just working the way around the building. And the guys are on that east wall over there, finishing screwing up some of the full panels on that bay that does not get a door. All right, and just like that, all the walls are up, all the trim's on, and we still have no roof, but that'll be next. But all the doors are trimmed out. It's looking good. Big space. So much room for activities. This is gonna be great when it's all done. And this morning, got all the materials ordered. So should have everything here for the electrician, I'd say next Monday. So about 4 days from now. So we'll be ready to make some big progress and get this thing finalized. Good morning. Back over here again, checking on the progress. And as soon as I walk up, first thing I notice are 4 big garage doors lying here on the ground. And looks like the guys are working on putting the roof sheets on. So let's walk on over here and see what they got going on. So it looks like they are about halfway down on one side of the roof. Again, same process as the walls, putting the insulation up, putting the sheets up there, getting them screwed down. That is one tall building. It's looking really good. I'm excited. It's, like I've said before, it's amazing working on any kind of construction project. They take a while, but it's so fun to watch them come together. This is going to be incredible when it's done. Hey guys, welcome back. So on Saturday, the building contractor finished up with getting all the garage doors and openers installed and working, tested, And so now it's Tuesday. Yesterday the electricians got a scissor lift moved on site. First thing this morning I met them out here, got them all the materials I ordered, and they got to work. So let's take a look. It ended up being a very nasty rainy day again, so they only worked a partial day, but did get the meter box mounted to the building, and then inside they went ahead and got the breaker panel mounted up, and of course have all the materials along here that I got delivered to them this morning. And not really much to see yet. They started running some of their conduits for the light runs and what's going to drop over to the various garage door openers. So yeah, should have some more to show over the next few days, and then we'll have more once they're done. All right, see you all soon. All right, so this morning the electricians finished mounting all of their EMT conduits. EMT, for those of you who don't know, stands for electrical metallic tube conduits. So all that's been mounted to the walls and the ceiling of the building, and now they're going back through and they're pulling their individual cables and making the connections at all the different receptacles and wall packs and ceiling high bay lights. All right, so met with the power company out here yesterday to go over the plans to get our power hooked up, and the representative from the company wanted a couple changes made. We are still going to the same pole that we had originally planned to connect to, but the power pole that's been set over here is going to have to be replaced by a 35-foot pole by the power company. And so we are out here doing some tree trimming. We are using the Steel PS 880 manual pole saw and making quick work of this. So here we go. As I was walking over, I saw trucks slowly roll down the highway. I think that's our power company guys. Looks like they're turning around down there, so hopefully we'll see them coming back and pull into the driveway here in just a couple minutes. But yeah, so I just carried that first piece of conduit over. Here was the pole we initially set for our conduit run. I guess there was a little bit of confusion. The power company said they have to use their pole, can't be one that we set, so they're going to be pulling this one out, putting a new one in. But basically the trench runs, or the trench we had dug previously and buried the 3-inch Schedule 80 conduit in, runs all the way over to the new building. And yep, those were the power company guys, so they're about ready to pull in. Well, let me get the other couple sticks of conduit so they're not waiting. Okay, so things got a little busy there for a few minutes, but more guys have showed up, more equipment showed up. They walked around over here and looked at things and feel that the ground is firm enough that they don't have to get in there with their small track rig. They can get the digger truck over there and get 2 new poles set. So let's see what we can do. looks like the ground is staying firm enough to support the truck, so that's a good thing. All right, so one of the senior crew guys came over to chat with me for a little bit, and so I missed a little bit of footage as they got started going, but not too much. All they've done so far is they used the derrick on this truck to unload a couple poles, and now they're moving over and they're gonna start securing things. Actually, maybe first I think they're gonna offset the new pole because we had some trees grown up around this old one, so there are a few decent sized stumps right there, a lot of roots. So they were gonna offset this just a little. So I'm guessing what they're doing right now is they're gonna start drilling down with their auger, removing the material. They're gonna set the pole in this location, switch their lines over, and then they'll spin over and start digging the new pole. So that pole that's in the corner of the property with the transformers on it, that's where their feed's coming in. They're going to run the line over to this pole they're replacing, and then they're going to run the line over to the new 30-foot pole that they're setting, and then the lines will go down the conduit that I provided for them into the underground conduit that we buried. We already put the mule tape in. So that's a heavy fiber line that they can attach to their cables, and it runs all the way over to the meter can at the new building. And so they'll attach that to the end of their cables, and they'll start using that mule tape to pull it on through. So, all right, let's take a look at things. The way these augers work, it's almost like a corkscrew, except corkscrew is just one thin round piece that's wound. On an auger you have what's called flights. So they're these it's just a flat sheet of metal that's round helically around the center. So with an auger you run it down into the ground until you buried it all the way, and then you lift it up, and then all the soil that's on it just lifts up and stays in those flights, assuming there's enough moisture for it to stay stuck on there, or the proper amount. If it's too sandy, a lot of it sloughs off, so that's really slow digging. Yeah, this material around here is very heavy clay. Pretty good moisture content in it, so it's sticking to the pipes, coming out nicely. But also, if you have too much moisture, it turns to soupy mud, and that's really hard digging. So then you can't use an auger, you have to use what's called a mud bucket. So they're already done digging their new hole, didn't have to go too deep, so they got their auger out of the way. Now they're swinging the boom over, attaching their cable to the new pole, and going up with the new pole. I've been talking to some of these guys. There are a few of them that are going to be on call as this winter storm comes in over the next few days. It's always unfortunate when something like this happens over the holidays. Yeah, here we're just, I think, 4 days away from Christmas. So some of these guys might not be spending Christmas with their families. Some of these guys are off. They do have vacations scheduled already for this year. But it's part of the job. Yeah, one of the guys who is going to spend the year with his family, he said next year he'll be on call. So it's they all take their turns. Now with the new pole in place, they're putting some material down in there. They'll be getting that compacted, stamping it all the way around evenly so they can get this pole set in one. One of the nice things about this specific project they're working on here is, yeah, they're able to work within our private property. It's nice, controlled, away from the public. Yeah, you can see when I'm filming over here, we have the busy highway in the background. Yeah, these guys are already dealing with a lot of dangerous things, working on utilities, but the most dangerous part of the job is working right adjacent to the traveling public. When I used to do that in my previous career, it can be frightening. People aren't slowing down, giving the utility crews, the construction crews room to safely do their work. So just keep that in mind when you're out there traveling. I know everyone's busy, you're focused on your day, but try to keep an eye up ahead on the road. Look for people that are working and slow down. You know, it's not going to delay you that much to slow down to 20, 30 miles an hour, get past these people safely, give them some space, and then move on. So this is, like I said, kind of an ideal working situation right now for these guys. Nice, controlled, closed access zone. Before every operation they do have safety meetings. They make sure they have all their proper safety equipment on, hard hat, eyeglasses, hearing protection when needed, gloves. All right, gonna shut it off here and go see what the other guys are working on. I think they're over there getting ready to pull some cable. Okay, and I missed it. They were already that fast. So like I said, here's the conduit we had coming out of the ground. We had the mule tape attached to it, hanging up here on the pole. So they had attached the cable that was on the spool of the truck to the end of that mule tape. They have another truck over by the new building, and they hooked a winch on over there and used the winch to pull the mule tape and pulled it through that quick. So they've laid out on the ground here their extra to have enough to run up the pole, and that'll feed through the new conduit. So moving along very quick. All right, so like I said, they were backfilling that pole. The soil they pulled out it did have too much moisture for them to get tamped in there. They do have some expanding foam to use for that. Unfortunately, it's taking a little long to rise because it is so cold out this morning. So they're kind of taking their time right now, waiting on that to set up. One of the guys is getting harnessed up. He's going to be climbing the pole. That way they don't have to bring their bucket truck in here. Because they don't have too much to do with this. So he's going to be climbing the pole, and then he'll be pulling the wires from the old pole over onto the new one. One of the guys already did go over and disconnected the power over at the corner. So everything right now over to the old house here is dead. And yeah, we'll give this a few minutes and try to get some shots of the guy climbing the pole. So they cut the lines off the old pole, let them drop to the ground. Then they used a rope to go up and over the new pole, connect to the line on that side, just pulled it up. I showed a minute ago where they were tying a rope onto the line from this side, and then they'll be pulling that up there in a minute and splicing them up there. Looks like right now they've disconnected also this phone line and getting that moved over.
Doesn't look like we're wrapped around. Nah, it's not wrapped around. You just stuck it in.
Okay, getting the digger back into position number 2. They're finishing up on top, getting the cables spliced into the box. And then once the pole's set over here, they'll be pulling that cable across and making the connection to what's going down to the underground. Alright, getting closer. project here in the building. Got the floor cleaned up, or working on getting the floor cleaned up because we have had so many machines running around in here. As I've mentioned in other videos, this slab has just been sitting here exposed to the elements for many years. So today we're going to be using a couple products from Stihl. So the attachment we're using is the RA110 rotating surface cleaner. As you can see on the bottom, it has these arms that spin around with a couple pressure washer nozzles on them. Does a great job at cleaning the surface. You don't end up with those streaks like you do with just normal pressure washer wand going back and forth. It does have an adjustment here to increase or decrease your pressure depending on what surface you're on. And we are using this one with the Stihl RE110 Plus. I really like this model because of the built-in hose reel on it. It's just a really nice, clean unit. Everything's kept nice and organized. This is great either for in a shop or for RVs. The handle does fold down. Again, all the accessories tuck in on side compartments on it. You can get an upgraded foam nozzle, which I really like for cleaning my RV. Makes a really nice high quality foam on a very large vehicle. And like I said, the handle folds down, nice compact, goes into a compartment on an RV as well. So we have been working in here already. We have cleaned some of these areas. So I'm just gonna pick up where I left off and show you how this works. Hopefully the camera picks it up. Brandon, as I go here, you may have to get in a little closer. The other thing I like about this unit as compared to a gas model, especially since we're working inside here, it's nice and quiet. I'm not having to worry about hearing protection. If you're working with somebody else, you can have a conversation, you can communicate well. So safety is another item. What we found works best is for one person to be running this unit and then another person to be using a broom and pushing the dirty water out of the building so it doesn't just settle debris back on the concrete that we just cleaned. So you can see that I can cover a large area in a very quick amount of time. I'm going to come over here to this more dirty stuff here so we can see what kind of job it's doing. But this really makes nice quick work again without the streaking of a typical pressure washer wand. All right, let me get that out of the way. Okay, so back over here doing some work on the building. And I was wearing a respirator because I was just using some uric acid doing a wash on the floor. So going to be painting the floor. Did come through here the other day with a pressure washer. Used the rotating surface cleaner on a Stihl electric pressure washer and went through, got everything cleaned out, got it free of debris. And with the paint that needs to go on here, we had to do an etching. So used a solution of 75% muriatic acid, 25% water. Just put in a basic pump up sprayer. Don't need to use anything fancy, don't want to use anything fancy because your nicer sprayers have metal parts inside and the muriatic acid will damage those. So just a basic pump up sprayer. Went through, sprayed it, it yellowed up, left it on for about 15 to 30 minutes, and then came back and used the fire nozzle on a garden hose to wash everything out. Definitely make sure you get off all the metal components of a building. It will eat through that. So we were very careful. One person was going around spraying against the perimeter, getting a nice clean edge. And then I was going through with the other sprayer, just filling everything in. So the timing worked out really well. As you can see, have all the doors open as well. You can also see I shaved and did a fit test with the respirator to make sure that it had a proper seal and would work. So now that I have everything rinsed off, I'm going to come through again with the pressure washer to remove that concrete, that fine layer of concrete that's been eaten away by the acid solution. And once that's done, just have to wait. Give it a few days for everything to dry out in here, and then waiting for a day with low humidity to where we can then go on with paint, and that'll take a couple coats. Let's see what's next. All right, so just to put things into perspective, again, of the size of the building, 30 feet wide by 80 feet long, 3 12 by 12 doors. There's Brandon, who's about 6 feet tall. And then another 20 feet past him is the big 14 by 14 door. We are almost 75% done now with the pressure washing after doing the muriatic acid etching of the floor. Looking really good. I mean, I cannot believe for a slab that was just sitting here on the property for who knows how long, exposed to the elements, this thing is cleaning up really nicely.
Yeah, if you want to, what is it, noon right now? You can probably get it to add it tonight.
All right, so the Cyclone is finally in its new home.